What's this? A real challenge? You've finally caught my attention. A fellow exile. One more fool under Zana's sway. Allow me to destroy you before she has a chance to betray you, too. At least, my way will be quick. You slew my friends! You brought ruin to my world! You have invaded my very sanctum. I should be furious, and yet I feel nothing. How boring and small. Destroying you is as easy as flicking a pest. Did you really think this would work? I transcended all this long ago. Feel the thrill of
the void. Why run? What's the point? Your lives are meaningless. Watch UP crumble.
But now you will fight on my lands. You assumed I share the same weakness as my fellows. And now you come to me. Is it bravery or foolishness? You will long for
non-existence. Reign of stars. Everlasting fire. Glorious flames. Be silent.
Hey guys, welcome to another little video. And in this video I will be showcasing the build that I am currently playing, and that is a Lancing Steel Raider. What is Lancing Steel? Lancing Steel is basically a melee attack that works like a range attack. So you right click and it shoots these little steel shards, right? And the interesting thing about Lancing Steel is that when you equip it, you get this also. It's Call of Steel. So what does Call of Steel do basically is when you fire these little shards, they impale into enemies, and when you press this, you recall them and they deal another chunk of damage when you basically pull them out of the enemy, right? And it's also got some good AoE on that thing, and yeah, every time you attack, it consumes one of those little swords on your back and basically shoots an extra 4 projectiles. So see, let me get rid of these, and you see now that we have significantly less projectiles. Once we reload, it's basically like a FPS game, right? Like SMG, and then you reload. And yeah, and it gives you a lot more damage. So why Raider? We went Raider because we want to exploit Onslaught. As your Ascendancy, you get 50% increased Onslaught effect, and you get permanent Onslaught on this single node. On the next Ascendancy, you get 100% increased effect of Onslaught and 35% chance to evade melee attacks, projectiles, blah blah blah. That is a whole lot of Onslaught effect, right? As you can see in the hideout, we are really fast, and on the boots, we only have 20 movement speed. This is like equivalent of like 35 movement speed. Okay, if you had 35 movement speed on this, it would be absolutely insanely fast. Okay, and for the other Ascendancy, we are going with Way of the Poacher. It's our way to generate frenzy charges, and you get +1 frenzy charges. And this is great on bosses because you can generate frenzy charges on bosses. 20% chance to gain a frenzy charge when you hit a rare or unique enemy. We hit very often and very fast, so we're always gonna have frenzy charges. Okay. And then Avatar of Slaughter, you get increased evasion per frenzy, attack, movement speed, and damage increase per frenzy charge, which is great. I think at the moment we have about 8 or 9 frenzy charges. So yeah, that's pretty good, if I do say so myself. Okay, hopping on into the gear for this character, we have our weapons. The best weapon for this build is the Savior. If you don't know, the Savior is a average DPS sword with some fizz, some attack speed, and some crit, but triggers level 20 reflection when equipped. Basically, what happens when what is reflection? Reflection is every time you crit an enemy with your Savior, it will make a clone of yourself, up to 2 clones. Let me just go and show you real quick. So yeah, you can have 2 clones of yourself, each of them doing 50% of your damage. What does this mean? You have 2 of them, 50 times 2 is 100, right? So basically you get 100% of your damage. Let's spawn the boys, not these boys. Those are heralds. There we go, they're the boys. And as you can see, those are our boys. They do our damage, they copy our damage, and they scale off our steel shards. The more steel shards we have, the more damage they do also, right? I'm not popping flasks, I don't have that much crit, but once you pop some flasks... Okay, this is a bad example. There we go. They spawned. So yeah, that's what they do. They double your damage and they follow you around like little minions, and they boost your DPS. Okay, for the second weapon is a average Paradoxica. It's fizz based with attack speed. It's not the best, not the worst, but yeah, you can probably get better. I bought this for 4 exalts because it's corrupted wrong. In case you don't know, the best way to corrupt the Paratoxica is you divine it as best as you can with the fizz, the attack speed, and the quality. Hopefully you get 18% quality, and then you bestiary corrupt it, which means you corrupt it to 30% quality without breaking it, right? So basically, if you corrupt it to 30% quality and then you have the extra 18, it's gonna have 48% quality, which is a huge DPS increase. And yeah, don't just vol it, bestiary corrupt it, okay? And then we have attacks with this weapon always deal double damage, which is great, which is amazing. So you see, now I used all my shards, but all the enemies are dead, so I can't just pull them back out of them. I'm sure you can see in the mapping showcase a good example of that. They're the boys, they're following us, which is great. And you can see they're attacking and they're just mowing everything down. Great. Okay, the other pieces of gear, what do we have? For our gloves, we are using Offering to the Serpent. These gloves are absolutely, without a doubt, the best in slot gloves for this build. Why? They're like 5C, right? I bought this with crit multi implicit, damage while leeching, and +1 frenzy for I think maybe 70C or 1x. Between 70C and 1x. It is insanely cheap for all it gives. What it gives is all attributes, which is irrelevant, increased armor and energy seal, which is kind of irrelevant, 50% reduced maximum recovery per life leech, not that bad, it's acceptable. Attack and cast speed, great. Increased damage while leeching, perfect. Life leech effects are not removed at full life. This is why we use this glove. Basically, this turns us into a hybrid raider / slayer. Because once we start leeching, we don't stop, and we leech all the time. This is why you can tank a lot of stuff. Like you can tank the normal beams on Sirus. You can tank a lot of stuff, right? And let's get back into the gear explanation. Yeah, try and get these with +1 frenzy. The other ones are not that relevant if you want to play this build. +1 frenzy implicit, and you're golden. For the belt, you use the good old Reslatus coil. Again, you want 30% less minimum physical damage, and as close to 40 more maximum physical damage. Attributes, that's whatever that depends to you. Attack, physical attack damage. Yep, life, great, excellent. Yo, calm yourself, bro. Calm yourself. This is 3.5. There we go. Okay, cool. For the boots, these boots are not necessary. The reason why I went with a double elevated mod is because I wanted the pierce and I wanted the onslaught. We have onslaught all the time from our Ascendancy, and the elevated onslaught mod gives us increased attack, cast, and movement speed while you have onslaught. Basically, we have another 9%, or if you can divine it to 10, that's even better, which gives you 10% increased attack, cast, and movement speed while you have onslaught, which is all the time, okay? Elusive, non-elevated, just normal elusive, and projectile pierces 5 additional targets. You do not need this. I repeat, you do not need this. This is a niche thing that I wanted. You can just go for life, movement speed, tailwind, and onslaught, and elusive, if you can do that. Yeah, and in order to craft those boots with elusive, tailwind, and onslaught, you elevate, you basically awaken orb, either onslaught, which is kind of difficult because neither onslaught nor tailwind has a tag, which is kind of difficult. Basically have to pray to RNG a little bit. Or you can just go with onslaught and elusive, or tailwind elusive, and then you get life, movement speed, and resistances or whatever else you can. Okay, so again, the projectile speed 5 additional targets, you do not need this, but it is good because we can then ditch chain. We don't need a chain in our setup, right? To help us clear speed, because without pierce or chain, the clear speed is very mediocre. It's not that great. So I'm using these so I can use, what is it, damage on full life. If you don't use these boots, you swap out probably damage on full life or another support and socket in chain. And then when you're the bosses, you gem swap, right? So you take out damage on full life for mapping, swap in chain, you're at the boss, pop in damage on full life, and stuff like that. It's a very good DPS increase, okay? Okay, so we talked about the weapons, the gloves, the belt, the boots, and the amulet. It is a very, very basic amulet. It is Fizz, Life, Crit Multi, All Res, Chaos Res. Non-channeling skills have -9 mana cost to skills, to -9 cost. The ring, it is a vulnerability ring combined with life gained for each enemy hit by your attacks. This mod is very, very important because we attack so fast and so often that you're basically always leeching. You can probably tank even shaper beams just standing there, and as long as you attack, because you're gonna regen back to full life so fast. So try and get a ring with a life gain on it, life gain for each enemy hit by your attacks and vulnerability, and then just craft your resist, life, and attributes as you see fit. The other ring, it is a synthesized ring with intimidate enemies for 4 seconds with your attacks. And then again, you go with flat fizz, life, -9 mana cost, and accuracy. Try to get accuracy either on your ring or your amulet or whatever, so you can be hit capped. As you can see, I am not hit capped. I'm still working on it. Or you can use a jewel somewhere on your passive tree with accuracy. Okay, great. The helmet is a double influenced Elder and Warlord base with +1 power charge, and nearby enemies take 9% increased physical damage. For the suffixes, you really want Crit Multi. It's very good. It's a good DPS increase, and the resistances that you are missing. I went for Chaos Res because I could cap my resistances elsewhere. And then as much life as you possibly can. Okay, so that's our gear for now. About the flask, as you can see, I'm not using a life flask all the time. I think in the showcase I did, but then I ditched it. I didn't really use it because we leech so fast. So a diamond flask, a dying sun flask, which is a huge DPS and survivability boost, because as you can see, what is it? Number of projectiles to fire 15. And if we turn this, it fires 21 projectiles. That is insane. That's insane. It's insanely good. The value is insane. A Quicksilver flask, the good old Bottle of Fate from every build, and a Cinder Swallow with crit. So we can get our crit. This one doesn't have quality. So we can get our crit as high as possible. As you saw, I am lacking a little bit of crit. What is my crit chance? Yeah, the crit is not that great, but it can be improved with either crit on rings or on the skill tree. All right, the skill tree. You start as a what is this class again? I forgot. Whatever, ranger. Then you path down here, take this. Use a pretty normal tree. You go for Wind Dancer. You take this node honed edge, sorry, and then you work down for Point Blank because we are always in melee range, so we can get the extra damage. And then path here, you take the good old Thread of Hope here, taking all this good stuff right here. This, and these two. So we have Endurance Charges and Frenzy Charges, and you take this little one, which is like, you don't have to take it, but it's really good. Increase attack speed per Frenzy. I really want it when you start ramping. And then call to arms, so we can use Enduring Cry for a little bit of life regen and res and all that good stuff. Blade of Cunning over here down, and for an anointing we use Swift Skewering because it's not worth pathing here, like 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Then we path all the way up, Gladiator's Perseverance, and then you path towards Forceful Skewering, and then you take the rest of your life nodes. And then on this side you have your Frenzy, Fatal Blade, your Acro and Phase Acro. You path all the way up here because we kind of needed the int. We can take another Jewel Socket, the Life, and the Frenzy. Pretty basic tree, not too mind-blowing or anything. Okay, so for the jewels, what are we using? For the Watcher's Eye, we are using a life gain for each enemy hit while affected by Vitality, and impales you inflict less 2 additional seconds. This is a pretty expensive Watcher's Eye. It's like 30x at the moment. You do not need it. You can either get the impales. The impales is probably your biggest DPS increase, but if you can afford it, try and get the life gained while affected by Vitality, and something with Pride. I don't know, attack damage or something with precision, whatever suits your budget. Okay, and for our jewels, like I said, here we have the Thread of Hope getting all this good stuff, and now the Cluster Jewel. This Cluster Jewel is a very big DPS increase for us. The base is sword attacks deal 20% increased damage with hits and ailments. You want a 8 passive, of course, as always. And you want Martial Prowess, Feed the Fury, and Fuel the Fight. This gives us Leech's mana. This Fuel the Fight solves all our mana problems, like everything. I was spec'd into this while leveling, but then as soon as I got the jewel, I got this and I unspec'd everything here. Feed the Fury is, again, more leech. Attack speed, and Martial Prowess is damage, attack speed, and accuracy, which is very nice. And for the medium, now this is the interesting part. Okay, we have one jewel with Repeater and Shrieking Bolts. Shrieking Bolts, it's projectile damage and 10% chance to taunt enemies on projectile hit. Enemies you taunt can only target you and deal 10% less damage. Taunt lasts for 3 seconds. Great. We fire 15 projectiles every time we attack. We attack like 3 times before reloading, so 15 times 3, that's like what, 45 projectiles. We always taunt. Okay, it's 100% chance to taunt. And Repeater is projectile damage, attack, and cast speed. And then on the other side we take Precise Commander and Provocateur. Provocateur is just a crit strike chance against taunted enemies, which we get from Shrieking Bolts. These go hand in hand. This is a very good combo. Okay, critical side multiplier against taunted enemies. Again, it complements Shrieking Bolts. And then you get Precise Commander, which gets you some crit and crit multi. Awesome. For our normal jewels, you want Global Fist damage, percent life, projectile damage, and if you can cap your resistances through these, they're great. Otherwise, if you don't need the resistances, try to get as much as crit multi as you can. For the other unique jewel that we need is Lord of Steel. I can't stress this enough. You need this jewel for this build to feel smooth. This jewel I bought for like 50C or 40C with Corrupted Blood, and it's almost perfectly rolled. The thing that you want on this jewel is Call of Steel has as close to 100% increased use speed. So let me show you. So you attack, you use all your shards, and then you use Call of Steel, and you see it has this little animation to it. This basically will lock you down when you're mapping. This does not feel good. Okay, so you use this. It has no other requirements, just not put it there, and then use this. Instant. See, almost instant. That makes the gameplay feel a lot better. And then for the other jewel, again, Global Fizz, crit multi, all res, projectile damage. Okay, cool. So that's the skill tree, the jewels, the items, the flasks. Oh, you can use a headhunter instead of Frustrata if you have it. It kind of speeds you through maps and kills bosses quicker if you have enough stacks. But otherwise, Rislata is the go-to build. Next up, let's swap into some POB. So I imported our build. This is gonna be level 94 because at the moment we're here, and I'm gonna level this 2 more levels regardless. Gonna get this. And as you can see, our numbers are pretty good. We have like 36 million DPS with our flash stick. Oh, this is a headhunter. This is not good. Oh, sorry. Gotta make the sale. 7x, you cannot say no to 7x, boys. Someone's going magic finding. Come on. Take it, boy. There we go. Boom. Okay, so where were we? POB, right. Yeah, it's a bit lower damage because I had the headhunter when I imported the build. Let me just fix that real quick, and boom, and then Rislatas. There we go. That's way better. 43 million DPS with our flash sticks ticked. And let's go to the configuration so you see there's no cheesing. I ticked you're always on full life because the amount of HP we leech is absolutely insane. Not being in full life is going to be extremely rare. As you can see here, we leech on hit 3.2k HP. That's insane considering we launch like 15 projectiles, right? Or 20 projectiles with dying sun or whatever. It's insane. You can take this, no worries. Power charges, yes, from our chest. Frenzy charges, yes, from our Ascendancy. Endurance charges, yes, also from the tree here. Okay. Elusive, yes, from our boots. Are you leeching? We are leeching all the time. And we're leeching also when we don't attack because we have overleech from our gloves. Are you on consecrated ground? Yes, from our ball of faith. Crit chance lucky, yes, because from our flask, it doesn't ticket. Is the enemy maimed? Yes, is how we have maim in our primary skill. Is the enemy intimidated? Yes, from our ring, which I showed you. This one, intimidate enemies. And then is the enemy on consecrated ground? Yes, from our ball of faith. Sirus, consume steel shards. You want this at 4. If you don't, it's like 16 million, which is still pretty good. But once you reload and you consume your 4 steel shards, your damage skyrockets. Okay. So as you can see, like nothing really cheesy. Like if you want to do like maximum effect, like 50 million or whatever, it don't really matter. So yeah, leveling this build, it was kind of annoying, not gonna lie. I wouldn't recommend Lancing Steel for leveling until probably like X6 or 7. Until then, you can use Shattering Steel, you can use whatever skill you can. Hell, you can even use like Smite with Hollow Palm, okay? Until you get this going. It feels good when you have this. When you have this, it feels good, okay? And also your flask kind of help a lot. So get this flask as soon as you can while leveling. And try to go for the damage nodes because you won't really be dying a lot. Go for you inevitably go take this, and then go for this, the life, the wind dancer, and then you go for some damage here. You go for the frenzy because we're gonna go do lab real quick, and then you can take this and stuff like that. Whatever suits your playstyle. Okay, I'm trying to remember if I missed anything. I don't think I missed anything. If I missed anything, make sure to tell me in the comments. If you have any questions, if you have any ideas to improve the build, feel free to let me know. Drop me a DM or a comment on YouTube or join the Discord, which will be in the description. Gonna plug my Twitch, which is twitch.tv/Dante00151. You can drop me a follow if you want and hop on stream when I go live. I try to stream as much as I can and as much as my IRL job allows me to. And it would be great when I do to have you guys over there and be chilling and listening to some good jams. But yeah, otherwise, I hope you, if you decide to try this build, I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And as always, yeah, hit me up wherever you can. IG, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, whatever, Discord, join the Discord, follow the Twitter. And yeah, as always, guys, stay safe. Link setup. In the gloves, we have a summon lightning golem linked to cast 1 damage taken and steel skin. So steel skin, lightning golem, cast 1 damage taken. Cast 1 damage taken is level 6, steel skin 12, lightning golem level 7. And then a level 2 vitality just for the Watcher's Eye. In the boots, we have an enlightened level 4. I don't think you need it, maybe 3 works just fine. I haven't tested it yet. Linked to a Herald of Purity, a War Banner, and Pride. Pride is not even level 20 yet. Lol. In our offhand, we have Enduring Cry, Blood Rage, and Increased Duration. So Enduring Cry lasts longer, together with Blood Rage, of course. In our offhand, we have our Ancestral Protector, which we pop on bosses because otherwise we don't really need them. Sniper's Mark for our single target. I need to quality this up. And Precision. I have Divergent from another build. You can use just normal Precision, it's just fine. Berserk, which doesn't really work because we don't generate rage. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. And then Second Wind and Dash for our mobility. And then in the chest piece is our main link setup, which is Lancing Steel, Awaken Brutality. Like normal brutality works just fine. Just the Overwhelm on the Awaken one is very nice. I do recommend it. If you can afford it, get it. Maim, Awaken Vicious Projectiles, which is not that expensive. Damage on full life, like I explained, and Impale. Again, if you don't have the boots with the Pierce, swap damage on full life with Chain, and then on bosses, put it back on for the extra damage boost. Okay, so that's the gems, and yeah, that will be all for this one.